Yes, it is rare. And this is one of the signs of the Akhir Zaman, because the real shaykhs, they pull themselves back. They hide. Order is given for them to hide. Only the sincere ones, they will find them. Even if they live in the bottom of the ocean, the sincere ones will find them. Even if they live in the top of the mountain, the sincere ones will find them. Then, it depends what you want to do now with that shaykh. May Allah make it easy for you to find. May you be ready for it. Because that shaykh may show you a side of yourself that you've never seen before, that you will turn away in disgust from. And you say, this is me, this is not me. Why are you showing this? I'm not like this. But the ego, it is the most ugly creature that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. Who is up for that task these days? Rare. Then we ask you, once you discover yourself, your ego, are you willing now to go through the training of getting rid of it? Yeah. Are we ready now to understand what is the jahil aspect of ourselves? Then once you submit, you're going to discover. But without submission, it's very difficult. If you don't submit to that doctor, meaning you refuse the anesthesia, and you're still awake and you're still not submitting, that doctor cannot cut open and cure you. Submission is impossible at that time. But submission is very important for you to have. You have to be in association. You have to spend time. You have to spend your life. Now that time, tariqat is not just a hobby that you have or an interest that you have. Now you understand that this is what is going to save your faith, because now you're concerned about your faith. Although we say La ilaha illallah, there are so many ilahs that is in our heart that we don't know how we can get rid of. And these things are not going to happen overnight too. It's going to happen slowly. It may take years. And it's going to tell you to fight against your nafs, fight against your ego. That is the jihadul akbar, to fight against your ego. You're coming to zikr. Some people look at you differently. Some people not even smiling at you. There you feel hurt. Especially women. Oh, this one is not giving me salams. This one is looking at me because I wear makeup. Then all these interferences happen. It happens with the men too, of course, for different reasons. But I'm just making it more understandable in this way. So many just from that, and they say, I'm supposed to come here to find some peace and tranquility. Oh, that's another thing. Peace and tranquility. Peace and tranquility is not in a place, it's in yourself. Peace and tranquility is what you bring out from yourself to put in that place. If you are always in ahli fitna, always confused and making confusion, you can enter into a Jannat and make confusion. If you're a person who has peace and tranquility, like Ibrahim alayhi salam, and we're from the nation of Ibrahim alayhi salam, you'll make the fire into a rose garden. So how now? The shaykh may even put you through a fire. And people will look at you, people will hate you, people will slander you, backbite you. Huh? To see what you're going to do now. What are you there for? For them or for Allah? This is not a game that the shaykh plays with you. This is real. This is happening in our lives every single day. What are the things that detracts us from Allah? Man may think, or a woman may think, no, I don't have all these bad characteristics. Oh, very easy. Hang out with us a little bit. Hang out with us a little bit. Then you discover certain things about you that you've never seen before. But like what our shaykh has said, if you walk in the streets, everyone looks healthy, everyone looks fine. But if everyone checks into the hospital, the doctor says everyone is sick. Everyone has a sickness. The Dergah, it is a hospital. The shaykh is a doctor. First you have to say, I am sick, to be cured. If you say, I'm not sick, then we can never cure you. We can never give you anything. But you say, I'm sick. Now we're going to say, what are you sick about? What are you sick from? I'm a very angry person. Okay. Good. Now you're understanding that anger that burns you and burns other people. You're not understanding. Don't worry. Your situation is going to make you to understand. What have I learned from my shaykh? I have learned from my shaykh the subtlety of my ego. That the ego, the nafs now, has hundreds and thousands of tricks. And to be sincere and to understand and not to make any excuses is the first step now to overcoming it. It is the first step. We are not 100% clean. None of us are. There's an ongoing fight that we have until the day that we die. Inshallah Rahman. But what happens to a shaheed? What happens to a, let's say a shaheed? What happens? I don't want to say jihadist. I'm going to get into trouble. What happens to a person who engages in the struggle, in the jihad? Because it's jihadul akbar, struggle against your nafs. What happens to that one who struggles in the way of Allah? The jihadul asghar, the small jihad. What happens when he gets killed in the battlefield? He becomes a shaheed. What happens if you're in the jihadul akbar and you're fighting against your ego and the angel of death comes? So, there is a protocol to everything. There is a discipline to everything. Even if you want to watch a movie, there is a discipline. They tell you what time you need to go. You have to pay this much. You have to sit in this seat. When it happens, they have so many rules. They say, don't talk, don't check this. When the movie ends, everyone has to leave. This is something for dunya. Now, in the way of Allah, you think there is no protocol? Then you are going to understand there's protocol for everything. Because everything now, every protocol now, it is not based on someone writing the rules. It is based now on the lifestyle of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. That is the protocol. Now you're going to understand that. As much as you're carrying the sunnah of the Rasulullah ﷺ, more light, more understanding will come to you. Then that time you understand, what is this part of me that I need to get rid of? What is this? The slickness. So many people, they're slick. They're never straight. They give answer here and there. I say, for example, when are you leaving? They say, oh, my flight is not until 2 weeks. There's one sign of the ego there. You're not answering straight. I never asked you when. I asked you when. I didn't say 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I asked you when. Now it comes to adab. Now it comes to manners. And manners is a never-ending ocean. And manners is very subtle. It may change. The murid was sent to a shaykh from another shaykh. The shaykh, the murid, he sent it to one shaykh who was going on a hajj. So this shaykh and this murid, they went on a hajj together. In those days, the hajj takes months to travel. So they traveled together. The shaykh didn't say anything to the murid didn't say anything to the shaykh. Now they have to communicate through the heart. But first, if you're not knowing and not understanding through the five senses, impossible for you to understand through the heart. Meaning, if you're in ghaflat, if you're in heedlessness, your heart will not open. Now that means you have to watch, you have to understand, you have to look at everything. The more that you look at yourself, it is impossible now. You're looking at yourself very carefully, you're understanding, you're questioning your intentions. You are looking at your life, you're looking at your day, you're looking at your actions every day. This is in the Nakshibendi order called what? Tafakkur, that we're making. We look at ourselves. What did I do today? I got up. Why did I get up? Oh, to eat breakfast. Ah, what an animal you are. You got up to eat breakfast. You didn't get up for your Lord. Then what happened? You said these things to this person. Why? To show off or just to have fun. What again a donkey you are. Again you forget about your Lord. Now you're putting yourself under a microscope. You're looking at your daily life. And through the sohbat, you understand now where to look and how to look. Once you are doing that, and you are aware of what you're doing, you're aware of yourself, it is impossible not to be aware of your surroundings. That time you cannot be in ghaflat. Because Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying what? Be careful from the vision of a believer because he sees with the nur of Allah. A believer does not fool and he cannot be fooled. Impossible. But for that, you have to make surgery of your heart every day. You have to doubt everything that you're doing. You doubt. You have to understand the hypocrisy that you are doing. You have to look and you have to dig. There's a lot of work. That's why you don't see too many people. We can talk about Ashki Rasul. So many people are going to come. We can sing qasidas and naats and ilahis. Oh, everybody swaying with love. You understand? And now, for the heart to work, is a very big price. So the shaykh and that murid, they were traveling to the Hajj. The shaykh didn't say anything to the murid didn't say anything to the shaykh. Now we look at manners. And now when you're in the presence of the shaykh, you look at yourself and you look at your manners. You question. Like they say in Turkish, watch your tongue when you are in the presence of criminals, dangerous people, eşkıya, bandits, robbers. Watch your tongue. Let's say mafia. Watch your tongue. They say, but when you're in the presence of the awliya, watch your heart. So this murid, he went, completed the Hajj with that shaykh, came back. On the way back, the shaykh turned to the murid and said, what is your name? This murid from another shaykh says, my name is Ali, son of Hassan. The shaykh smiled. Went back. The shaykh went to his Dergah. That murid went back to his shaykh, to another Dergah. The shaykh sent a message to the other shaykh that went to the Hajj, saying, how is my murid? And the shaykh replied, sent back the message saying, he is good, but he talks too much. Are we able to understand this and accept this? Not just as a story, but as a life lesson. He says, he's good, but he talks too much. I asked him for his name, and he gave me his father's name. Now there has to be extreme care in the presence of those ones. You're going to feel very tight at times. And the tighter that you put yourself in, the stronger you're going to become. Just like that baby, when it's growing up, it's a baby, you put it in the tight clothes, you know, the swaddling clothes, they call it, cloth, and it's struggling, but in that struggling it's making his bones and his meat, his flesh very strong. If you don't put it in that, it's going to become very weak. Just like a little chick poking its beak out from that shell to come out. You say, oh, poor bird, let me help it. And you open the shell, that little one is coming out and it will die because it needs to kick and be strong and get all the blood pumping and the muscles working to come out. But majority are not even understanding. Majority are not even accepting it these days. If we say to them, you have an evil that is inside of you, that its main purpose is going to bring you to Jahannam. No, I pray, doesn't matter. You can still go to Jahannam. I fast, doesn't matter. It can still bring you to Jahannam. I do zikr, I read Quran, it doesn't matter. Because there are so many who make zikr and they pray and they read the Quran, but they let their ego to trick them, and their end is not so good. We've said this before. The murderers of Hazrat Hussein, the army of Yazid, they said, let us quickly kill them, otherwise we're going to miss the Jummah. They were praying. Those were tabi'ins, not that title of a tabi'in. That title doesn't fit them. But they were living in that generation where they see the grandchildren of the Prophet. They were seeing the Sahabis. They were doing everything correctly. They were saying Shahadat. They were praying. They were worshipping. They're doing everything properly. But what is causing them now to fall into that lowest position? One man, he was sleeping under a tree. And another man was riding on a horse. And from far he sees that man who is sleeping under that tree. He's sleeping and his mouth was open, snoring, and one snake came and went into that man's mouth. The man on the horse quickly, he rode up to the man and started hitting him with his whip that he used the horse. And he says, get up. And the man woke up. And he says, why are you hitting me? I don't know you. Get up. He's saying, run. He's saying, who are you? Why are you doing this? By Allah, don't you have an Allah? Why are you hitting me? Run, the man is saying. Hitting him. A man is running and they came to an apple tree and there were apples like over here on the ground. He says, now eat these rotten apples, eat it. This man says, Wallahi, what wrong did I do to you? Don't be a tyrant, don't be a shaitan, don't be this. He says, eat. The man starts eating and eating. He says, now you run again. The man starts running. When the man is running with all those rotten apples in his stomach, he started to throw up. And when he threw up, the snake came out. Now the man ran to the other one, kissed his hand and says, you must be an angel. That man on the rider is the shaykh. That man on the rider is a prophet, taking the work and the responsibility of a prophet to get rid of this evil that is inside of us. You say you love the Prophet ﷺ. He's saying, if you love me, prepare for hardship. Now, may Allah not test us. Inshallah, as much as we can do. We may speak again later. Any other questions?